Welcome to the Jets Overtime, presented by SiriusXM. Eric Allen, Anthony Beck, and Quincy Anunwa here in the Audi Performance Studio. Well, that's more like it. The New York Jets drill the Houston Texans by a 30-6 score. AB, bottom line, complete performance. Defense was elite. Zach Wilson returns to the lineup. The offense explodes in the second half, and the special teams was great as ever.
Yeah, complimentary football at its finest. I mean, that's kind of what you want when you're scripting out what you want to see from the Jets and this football team. Defense was really remarkable today. When you talk about, the weather, all that, everybody had to deal with that. Both quarterbacks equally had to deal with that. But just a tremendous job of just shutting down C.J. Stroud and really taking care of business. On the flip side, on the offense, Zach was on point. He was accurate. He made some special plays today. He had some guys around him make some plays as well. You know, this was just something where the offense clicked, especially in the second half. Crossing routes, guys catching touchdowns we haven't seen catch many balls at all. You just saw Cobb there. Tight ends were heavily involved. I thought Rucker played a great game from blocking and catching, and of course, Conklin doing a great job as well. So again, just seeing how it can work when functionally both sides of the football get it done. You get yourself an easy victory. You're saying, oh, it's hard to win games, all that, but if you get that, and you can find a way to put it together, piece the offense together for 2 quarters a game. Look how much success you can have as a football team.
That's a great point.
Robert Saleh's instructions to Zach Wilson were, let it rip. He becomes the first Jets passer in the last 16 games to reach 300 yards through the air. And he did it on a day where it was basically downpours for 75% of that game.
Yeah, I mean, people said it was going to be a monsoon the way they were supposed to rain as much as it did. And it rained a lot. And I'm glad that we saw Zach Wilson play confidently today. Even on that play that he fumbled, right, that was a play where he was trying to get extra yards. And I don't think we would have seen that in weeks prior. It was too much of him playing a little bit too reserved. Let me not mess up. Let me not do anything that's going to make the defense upset with me. This week, he really went out there and let it loose. He let it fly. He was throwing some balls. Those 2 passes that he had to Conklin up the seam, I mean, those aren't easy passes, right? You're giving your guy a chance, and that's been the biggest thing that we haven't seen from this offense. Give your guys a chance. You know, it's funny, I was talking to some Giants players last week. You know, we don't want to talk too much about those guys, but one thing that they talk about is that they're happy with their new quarterback just because he's giving them a chance, right? He may not be the best guy out there, but he's giving their guys an opportunity, and that's what we saw from Zach today. I think every Jet fan is excited about that. They want to see that continue to happen for the rest of the season because Coach Saleh said, this is our guy for the year. He's the guy that gives us the best chance, and he showed that today.
C.J. Stroud was missing some of his top weapons, and that goes into the ball game. Yeah, you're talking about the top 2 receivers.
All of them.
Yeah. Collins goes out early. Tank Dell out for the year.
Yeah. Dalton Schultz.
He was in game day inactive.
So money there.
He doesn't have a lot of his weapons there, but the Jets did is what you'd expect after we watched them throughout the year take on the likes of Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, and take care of business. I mean, they were stellar throughout this game, and when the Jets offense needed some time in that first half, the Jets shut down the door.
They disrupted the passer today, clearly. I mean, even prior to those guys getting hurt early in the game, C.J. Stroud was uncomfortable. The pressure was there. Not only when you got pressure, you got to the quarterback and wrapped up and make tackles. Huff again, huge sack, kind of screwed up my day as far as who to actually be leading the team in sacks. But again, the effort, the physicality, all that stuff remains the same every single week. The defense cares about being the best, and they show it every single week. There's no quit. They're all fight, and they all do it together, which is great to see as well. Coach Brick has done a great job. Just, again, keeping that focus in, just saying, listen, this is our side of the football. This is what we have to do every single week. We can't control the offense, the special teams, the weather, any of that stuff. We got to go out there. If we talk about it and preach it, we want to be the best. We have to do it every single week, and they've stepped up to the plate and did it in a big way.
The Jets' #1 target, Garrett Wilson, he was targeted 14 times today by Zach Wilson. 9 catches, 108 yards. The Jets snap a 5-game losing streak with a 30-6 dismantling of the Houston Texans. After the game, Caroline Hendershot talked to Garrett Wilson.
Here with wide receiver Garrett Wilson. Garrett, 9 receptions, 108 yards for you today. What was working so well? You were helping get down the field for every touchdown today.
We just took what the defense gave us. Zach put it on me, and it's my job to catch the ball. They made it real easy on me today. As far as my teammates and our OC and our staff, we had a great plan, and just my job to execute.
You mentioned Zach, 301 yards for him, 2 touchdowns. What was the difference in the way he was playing today?
He just spun. He just played. Came out and played. We all believe in him. He believes in himself, and when you're hitting on all cylinders, you're hitting. It was one of those days out in the rain. If you can do it, you can do it anytime. So really great to see, and I know we're all excited about it.
The last time this team scored 3 offensive touchdowns was last year, week 12. What was the energy like out here, and how did that affect you guys being able to have so much production on offense?
We felt like we broke the seal with that first touchdown. That's kind of what we were saying on the sideline. We might have just broke the seal, and to be honest, it felt like it had been since week 12 last year. So this is a great feeling. Something, we hope we can build off of and keep this thing going, to finish this thing the right way, and then hopefully in the next season.
Awesome. Congratulations, Garrett.
Thank you, Caroline. Appreciate you.
Garrett Wilson said the Jets offense broke the seal today. All those 30 points came in the second half. For my money, Quincy, I think one of the key plays in this game was a 3rd and 12 at the beginning of the third quarter from Houston's 40-yard line. That's when Zach Wilson hits Garrett Wilson for 25, and that set up the first touchdown. And then from there, the Jets took control of this game.
Yeah, one thing that the Jets have been missing out the last couple of weeks is the mobility of Zach Wilson, right? And we got to see that. I don't think we even really saw it while he was starting those games prior to him being benched. I think this week, again, he put it all on the table. He showed everything that he's capable of doing, throws on the run, mobility, kind of scrambling a little bit, right? The accuracy on the run. This is a lot of things that we all expected of Zach Wilson when we drafted him, and we got to see that today. And so I think that's a big, huge confidence booster, right? Because I think everybody understands that he's been beaten down since he's been here. He hasn't been performing as well as he's supposed to. And so to see him have these type of games against, great competition, right? You're playing against a quarterback on the other side that's had some great wins. I think that's a great win for him.
The Jets dominated statistically today in every category. You're talking about more than 200 yards. That was the discrepancy in total yards. Jets get 347. Houston limited to 144. Third down today. Houston was 1 of 12 overall. They converted just 8% of the time, whereas the Jets, 6 of 15, and you saw them starting to convert there in the second half. Let's bring in Ethan Greenberg from MetLife Stadium. Greens, the Jets had that 30-point barrage in the second half. It all started with Randall Cobb's touchdown. Disappointing season so far for the Jets offense, and Cobb has battled injuries. But what did he tell you after this game?
He actually said he wasn't even supposed to be in on the play. Garrett Wilson had just run 2 vertical routes, and he said that Garrett needed a little bit of a breather. The play was designed for Garrett. Cobb saw the opportunity, or the opportunity came his way, should I say. He ends up scoring his first touchdown as a member of the New York Jets, and to your point, kind of jump-started the offensive performance. 30 points in the second half, and he was telling me after the game that it just felt really nice for him and the offense to finally put that on film. And then he said moving forward, can't get too high, just like you can't get too low after a loss. So the Jets have to turn the page quickly here, take what they did well, and apply it to next week in South Florida.
In your eyes, what changed there in the second half? Because the Jets did have a couple drives where they moved into plus territory in the first half, but they were unable to finish.
Yeah, I think maybe it's just kind of, this is going to sound simple, but just playing loosely. And we've been talking about it all week in terms of Zach Wilson playing aggressively smart. Coach Saleh saying, hey, let it rip. And I think we saw that. This was the first game in Zach Wilson's career in which he had thrown for over 300 yards, and the Jets had won the game. He had an over 100 passer rating. He played probably his best game overall as a New York Jet. And considering the situation of what happened weeks prior of being benched, then being back into the lineup, I think that this is really just a testament to him. And this offense, we know that it has pieces. We saw different players succeed in multiple ways. Garrett Wilson through the air, Breece Hall through the air, Dalvin Cook had a couple nice runs as well. And Tyler Conklin, I think, is kind of like maybe an underrated player in terms of his performance for this game. And I think you just saw the Jets kind of cut it loose. And I think that was the biggest difference for me, where I thought it got maybe interesting is when Zach Wilson actually fumbled the ball. I was wondering in the press box, why he didn't slide, because it was an early down. It's not like he needed to get the first down when he fumbled it, but the Texans score, missed extra point. Then the Jets come roaring back, and it was at that moment where I really thought like the Jets might have turned a page on offense specifically for this game, and obviously we'll see what happens in the future.
How about the Jets defense? It's going to get overshadowed because the offense was just so productive there in the final 30 minutes. But, I mean, each week we talk about what a unit this has become over time. And they sacked C.J. Stroud 4 times. I know he was missing a number of his key contributors, but the Jets had 10 PDs in all, and you got a chance to talk to Bryce Huff, who now leads the team with 7 sacks.
Yeah, Bryce Huff, this is what I wanted to know, even leading into this week, so I'm happy that I was able to talk to him before doing this with you. Going up against George Fant, who had played predominantly left tackle for the Jets, now the right tackle for the Houston Texans, I asked Huff, can you pull anything from what you did against Fant in training camp when you two would line up against each other as a Jet? And he said that George Fant, when he was a Jet in training camp, would often try to kick out early and try to really control Bryce Huff's speed. But today, he respected the power, so he wasn't eager to kick out. He was waiting for Bryce Huff to really use the power move to get to C.J. Stroud or Davis Mills after Stroud exited the game with an apparent head injury. So it was a really cool moment for Bryce Huff. He was saying that to have his power respected from someone who he used to practice against every day for the better part of really Huff's career until this season. And obviously in the game, Bryce Huff was one of the guys that had a sack, and it came off that side as well.
That's Ethan Greenberg. Here, Zach Wilson's stats today. Again, he becomes the first Jets passer in 16 games to reach 300 yards, 301 yards in all. The leading receiver for the Jets today, Garrett Wilson, 9 catches, 108 yards. How about Breece Hall out of the backfield, 8 catches for 86 yards. And AB, your tight ends got into the action as well. Tyler Conklin, Jeremy Ruckert combining 7 catches for 94 yards. So offensive balance. Let's get into the Telestration right now. We are powered by Microsoft Surface as always. Quincy, let's talk about the man of the hour, Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson, what a day today, man. And he was spreading the ball around. Each play here has a different guy catching the pass. So in this first one, we're going to go off this touchdown right here. So this was a great play call because you have, well, like Randall Cobb, what we heard, it wasn't supposed to be him, but he ended up being in there, and he did exactly what he needed to do. So you've got a nice combination here, post here, and then a sit up top. It essentially becomes like a mesh play. You got guys getting picked off. Look at this right here. We got a pick right here. Middle linebacker is getting picked right in the middle. Doesn't know where he's going. He's watching the quarterback, excuse me, on the slow motion. Here we go. Pick. Now he's wide open for the touchdown. It's a great play design. Again, Cobb hasn't been able to make as many plays as you would like, but he came in today and was right in the right position for a touchdown.
Real quickly here, AB. Good play design and execution, and everybody throughout the National Football League offensively runs that.
Yeah, well, you know, it's nice that Zach was ready for that, right? The defender gets picked. He's able to get the ball out. You saw the arm angle. He had to deal with a little bit of an offensive line defender in the way, kind of puts it out, but ball placement was premium. 75% passer today. Yeah. That's a reason why. Where you put the ball, receivers love the fact when the ball's out front, he never breaks stride. And old man Cobb comes through with a big touchdown. It's been a minute, but it's nice to get into the zone.
Yeah, that's something that you specialize throughout your career, Quincy.
Yeah, man, listen, it's a great job, great play design, and again, you're getting another guy a chance to score a touchdown. So on this one right here, this was a great, Zach Wilson was putting the ball in some nice places. AB just talked about putting it out in front. This is a play right here that's so tough. You can't even see your receiver here, right? All you're seeing is just a white shirt, and you know your guy's over there somewhere. I'm just going to put it up for him. Look at the play. Conklin going up to get it. Again, just giving your guys a chance. That's the most important thing you want. I'm just going to let it play through. Give your guys a chance to make a play, and he does that in the rain. You can see the drops on the camera.
Hey, how about the touch there, AB? Because we know Zach Wilson has the fastball. The other thing that I liked on that play specifically is he's doing a good job with his eyes coming back.
Yeah, well, first, what are they doing safety-wise? The guy immediately just went to the left side of the field without eyes. But those are the matchup post-snap, right? If you're the quarterback, boom, you see safety run over. You got one-on-one with the guy pressing the tight end. You got to throw the ball over there. But you're right, ball placement is everything. Again, we talked about it earlier. Zach was on, giving his guys a chance to make the play. Of course, anytime you have a mismatch in size, tight end, DB, small linebacker, put the ball up high, let them go to work. You saw that similar play, but with 2 tight ends running similar vertical routes. They now changed it up and expanded receivers. He caught a similar ball just like that before in the first drive. Again, ball placement early on That's what gave Zach the confidence. I think if we found out anything about him in his career so far in these 30-plus games he's played, if he gets hot early, he usually has a pretty good game.
Yep.
Great point.
What else you got for us?
Yeah, so this last one, I'm not going to let it play because this is Zach Wilson doing the magic that we like to see. He's out here scrambling, using his legs. That's the most important thing we want to see from Zach Wilson, and he does exactly that. Escapes the pressure, sees his guy downfield. You don't usually like the ball back there, but listen, he trusts his guys to make a play. Great play. Wilson and Wilson connection, you love to see that.
For me, that was the key play of the game because that's the beginning of the third quarter. It's 3rd and 12, and the Jets had a couple drives in the first half where they had momentum, but maybe there was a penalty or a sack, and it knocked them out of scoring position. But after that play, it was all downhill from there. Great game from Zach Wilson today. The voice of the Jets, Bob Wischusen, talked to the winning quarterback.
Zach, the way you guys were moving the ball at times in the first half, maybe taking a negative, you must have felt like you were close. But what was the big change first half to second half in terms of getting so many points on the board?
Yeah, I think avoiding the negative plays was a big one. You know, even for me, I need to avoid, you know, some of those sacks, even the ones that, you know, are tough. Like when we're at field goal range, how can I help the guys out up front and just maybe dart a ball there to keep us in field goal range? But avoiding the negative plays, some of the penalties and stuff, I thought we did a better job in the second half of, you know, capitalizing some of those explosive plays and getting in the end zone.
How about for you personally? When you always talk about your teammates, but this could not have been an easy 3 weeks for you to play the way you did today after losing the job at least briefly, to come back and respond. You know, for you personally, what does all this mean?
Yeah, it means a lot just because I get to do it with guys I truly love and care about in this locker room. No lie, but I've never felt more love and respect from the guys in this locker room than this week. And, you know, what a cool way to go out and battle with those guys and do it on the field and in a monsoon of a game and to get it done like that, it feels good.
And you can feel it in this locker room, right? I mean, that was a collective explosion of emotion. What does it mean, you think, not just to you, as you said, but to this entire team to get a performance like that?
Yeah, it means a lot. It means a lot. You know, we need to keep going. We need to stack this. We need to, you know, understand that this is the standard, and we need to take this into next week.
Thanks for the time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Nice job from Bob Wischusen and Zach Wilson. I can't wait to get to Socially Speaking later because these guys are talking about what's trending right now. But it's time for the report cards.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, our grades have been tough of late. I think they're going to ease up. You don't have to grade on a curve today, okay? So where should we start? I'm going to start special teams, actually.
Okay.
Can we do
let's
that?
do that.
I'm going to do reverse
Go
order.
backwards, okay.
Special
Let's
teams
do-
A.
let's do Special teams.
Special teams A.
Look at that. There you go.
I love it. I love it. How about Zerline?
Really?
And
Yeah.
Morstead.
Yeah, 55-yarder in the rain? Look, come on, man.
And a 51-yarder?
Yeah.
He's a beast. I'll tell you, he's having a Pro Bowl year. I'll be
Yeah.
honest with you. Our punting game has been really good.
Agreed.
Wasn't happy maybe about that he had an early punt that
went in
went
the
out of
end
the
zone.
end
Yes.
zone, and that beam liner that they had a return on. But man, he dropped a couple in the bucket. But man, Zerline, I'll tell you, man, he looks like old school Zerline, man. He is knocking them home. Especially, has he had a nice weathered game at home the whole year, and he's still putting them through? Just an incredible effort by him.
Greg the Leg, and then Thomas Morstead benefiting from the return of Justin Hardy, as we just saw on that.
No drops from Gibson in the rain. I mean, everybody across the board just did really well.
Oh, it's a feel-good segment here right now. Let's go to defense.
There we go.
I'm going A here
going
with the
A.
defense.
Oh,
A plus,
I
baby.
mean, God, what else you got to do?
Oh, Zach Wilson's even happy about
I
it.
didn't even want to believe it. It was so high. It's like, how is that even possible? Listen, it's an A plus, guy. Listen, they did everything they had to do today. They didn't get that turnover, but man, they disrupted the quarterback. They knocked the quarterback out. Yeah, they didn't have their stars in the lineup throughout the game. A couple more guys got hurt, but they didn't let the other guys take advantage of them and make plays either. They stopped the run. They really gave the momentum short field as well for the team with those great punts. They were able to hold them, keep them pinned back, so at least the offense had a short field. Again, listen, I was in a good mood today, man. I gave them an A plus.
Now, you've been. Actually, it's crazy. Last year, you were the harder grader. I feel like I've been a little bit tougher. And I gave him an A just because I feel like the Houston Texans didn't have all their weapons, right? They played really well, exceptionally well, right, as a defense. But, you know, I wanted to see what would have happened if we would have seen Nico Collins, you know, their tight end.
The only complaint was on the field, Q.
Of course, that's why I gave him an A. I mean, an A is better than, you know.
I give them an A, too, because they didn't score. They scored the last couple of weeks. They had the safety and the pick six from Brandon Eccles, so they didn't score. And this team has such a high standard from that unit, so definitely an A there. A+. You can't go wrong. Offensively, here we go.
A. There you go.
A's across the board.
Yeah, great play calling, great execution. I mean, it's an A for me. There's not much else to say.
Yeah, second half was really just kind of dominant. And look, Zach was on today. You know, listen, he takes a lot. This is a tough market to play in. He has not had the success I think everybody over his career wants him to have. But, man, just, again, the mentals to come out, be confident, trust in what you're doing in the elements. I mean, you know, what, dude, that's not easy. I mean, if we held up his game stats today, we had him on there with 75%, whatever he threw for, the 301 yards, 2 touchdowns. You could put any of the top quarterbacks in the NFL's face on there, and people would be gushing about that and would win NFL FedEx Offensive Player of the Week. Well, guess what? Zach did that today versus a very good defense. I'm not going to take anything away from this team. They played well throughout the year. They got good pass rushers. They got good tacklers. Yeah, they got a couple guys get banged up, but they still got enough players out there to put a good game together, and they had to dodge the weather bullet.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just today, man. They deserve it. I've been you go a couple Fs in a row and you jump to an A, you got to do something right, and I thought they did in this game, and it's hats off to them, man. They needed it.
Yeah, hats off all the way around. Across the board, A's. Let's take a look at that scoring summary. Nothing happening there in the first half, but then it was an explosion for the Jets in the third quarter. And how about Zach Wilson answering his turnover that set up Devin Singletary's touchdown? You're thinking, well, Jets might be in some problem area right now, but he responded with a touchdown drive and a touchdown throw to Breece Hall. 3 touchdowns in all for the offense in the second half, and then you had Greg Zuerlein chipping in as well. After the game, Caroline Hendershot caught up with Jets defensive tackle Quinnen Williams.
You're a defensive lineman, Quinnen Williams. Quinnen, you guys were going up against the number 2 passing offense, and you limited C.J. Stroud to just 91 yards. What was working so well across the defense today?
We got phenomenal DBs, man. Those guys in their back end is one of the best group of guys in the country. I think the number 1 cornerback core in the NFL. You got Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed. You got guys like C.J. Mosley, Quincy Williams balling out, man. T.A. balling out, all those guys in the back end, man. Just unbelievable guys, and us as a D-line, man, we just doing our job and executing at a high ability, trying to put pressure on him, trying to get sacks on him, because he's a phenomenal quarterback, man. He's a great quarterback, a young quarterback who's doing elite stuff at a high level, like a veteran. So we knew we had a great challenge in front of us, and just try to go out there and execute.
This defensive line took that challenge and kind of ran with it. 3 sacks, 1 being from yourself. What did you see on that play to be able to bring him down?
Honestly, I was just executing the play that was called, and I guess I came free just executing, doing my job to the best of my ability. And I've been just hunting for a sack, man, because I go against so many double teams. So when I get the opportunity to get a single team, man, I just try to make the best of my opportunity. So.
Lastly, the energy on defense felt different today. Was it because the complementary football was there today like it hasn't been maybe in the past couple games?
I think that got something to do with it. When you got offense having fun, balling out, man, you got Zach out there, all the negative stuff he's been going through, all the little small obstacles he's been going through, balling out, having fun, doing the necessary things he can do to be the best player he can be, man. When you see that stuff and you see how hard he's fighting, the offense fighting, man, it give us some energy, and it give this whole team some energy also. So it's definitely a big thing when you got complementary football. You don't want to let your teammates down, and you want to do all you can as a defense to do your job. So.
Awesome. Thanks for your time, Q.
Thank you.
You are watching Jets Overtime presented by SiriusXM. It's time for a little segment we'd like to call Coach Becht. The floor is yours.
Well, you know, number 1, we'll see y'all Wednesday, right? Everybody's off Monday and Tuesday for the team. You know, look, I heard some things from some of the staff before the football game, and it held true. Coach Saleh, I heard, had a little bit more of a physical practice, especially on inside run with the offense this game during this week. Put some pads on a Thursday. It boded well for this football team. You got to continue what you're doing. That week of practice, how you were ready and prepared for this game, you keep a lot of those things intact, because if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? So that's something you can feed off of. Zach, how can you build off this? You sit there and you talk to Nathaniel Hackett as a staff. You look at your guys, listen, we spread the ball around. We got to the ball at the tight ends. We checked the ball down to the back. A lot of great things here. Let's be the same team. Doesn't matter what we run, what we do. If we can just get the ball out of his hands, he knows and sees what he has, he can be successful. The offense continues to build off what you're trying to do. I think it's easier now for Nathaniel Hackett to actually come up with game plan and get Zach and the players involved. I always feel like improving run game, talk to your best players, see what works. Number one thing you saw with Garrett Wilson today, not a lot of contested catches, so that's a good note as well. Defensively, man, keep firing on all cylinders. You got a chance to continue to still be great. You can still rise up the last couple games of the season. When you're holding teams for less than 200 yards in multiple weeks, you can really make jumps this late in the season. Hard to go up from 10-9-8 when you're just, 300, but when you're less than 200, that's huge. Again, complimentary football. That's the way this team can win. And again, we didn't have to see it for 4 quarters from the offense. 2.5, that was enough to get the job done.
And with 30 seconds to spare, how about that? Coach Beck is really happy. He said the guys don't have to come back until Wednesday. You're happy about that, right?
Of course.
Get a couple days with the family?
Victory Monday, Tuesday, shoot, maybe even Wednesday.
All right, it's been a while. So let's bring Socially Speaking back, and let's see how everybody took in this game out there socially. Where are we going? Lincoln Tomlinson, Victory Donuts. Lincoln might be up here on the second floor at One Jets Drive.
Oh,
tomorrow. Yeah. Oh,
I gotta make sure I come in for
that. Oh, D. Woody.
That's funny.
Not T. Swift, but C. Wilson. How about that?
Oh, man. Okay, name it.
Broadway Joe. Nice going, Jets on the win today.
Finally cleaned up his Twitter. Got him right. It's good to see him back on track.
Oh, yeah. Joe is in a good space. Oh, Sauce going after the refs a little bit, but he actually protected them. He said they make mistakes sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like that call.
Yeah.
And the Jets chairman quite happy, just like everybody in Jets Nation today.
The best tweet of the day, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Cuts the checks. It's always the best tweets, baby. I love it.
Yeah.
Love it, Coach. Love it.
Yeah. And salute to everybody turned out to MetLife Stadium today because, again, tough weather. Jets had lost 5 games in a row prior to this one. After the game, our cameras were inside the locker room to hear Coach Saleh's speech. Let's take a look.
In the locker room at halftime, I swear to God, there was no doubt in anyone's mind that we're going to win this freaking football game. Offense came out guns freaking blazing. Defense, keep doing what you're doing. That was an absolute demonstration of love and regard for your teammate all the way across the board. And I appreciate every single one of y'all in here. I absolutely appreciate and love everyone in here and the way we fight, the way you all bounce back, the way we all bounce back. Enjoy this one. We'll get ready for the next one, man. Break it down.
All right, so we saw a little excerpt there, but Q's wondering about the whole speech because did Zach Wilson get a game ball? What do you think?
I think he deserves it. You bring him out there after all that's going on, give him a game ball, man.
Or victory Monday, Tuesday. I didn't hear that.
We
got to chop that up better, Sickoff. Come on. We need some of the earlier clips from that. I feel like it wasn't all there.
But real talk, what's it going to be like for the fellas tonight to get that winning feeling once they leave the stadium? After it's been a long 5 weeks here, 5-6 weeks.
Oh, man, I know those guys are exhausted and losing. I know the years that we had that were bad years, and we didn't get any wins, those are some of the worst times to come into work. So when you know you get a win, and it's a team win, everybody helped contribute to this win, it makes just going back to work so much better. You're excited. You have a little bit more energy for the week. I wouldn't even be mad about coming in on Monday because I'd be happy to see my guys after a win like that, So it's just a great time.
5-8 overall. Next week, the Jets are going to Miami. That's a team who put it on you pretty good on Black Friday.
Yeah.
Now you get a shot to compete against the team who is leading the AFC right now.
Well, clearly the defense, has a great opportunity to shine. And if they do shine and the offense can complement, this could be a football game now, right? It's a different mentality. you should feel good. You should feel confident about, even if it's just one victory. Oh, it's just one victory. You know, it doesn't mean anything. It won't translate to anything. It's a key victory for one guy, and that's the quarterback. I think if the quarterback's mentality is in a good space and a good place, he's not going to read anything in the media this week. He's not going to hear. He's going to get a lot of pats on his back. But for Zach, there won't be any letdown for him because he knows it's hard. You got to prepare. You got to do your thing. There's no letback. He's been through these, all right, ups and downs, but he also has been through those wins. Maybe they can string some together. And if he can string maybe a 3 quarters of good football together, now all of a sudden takes a little bit less pressure off the defense, going against arguably one of the better offenses, if not the best in the NFL. So is it out of the question that they can win this game? No, not at all. Any given Sunday, right? But I also believe that the Jets don't have to play perfectly on offense for 4 quarters to win a football game either. We just saw it versus one of the better teams, a game off of what 2 games off of what the Miami Dolphins record was in the Houston Texans. So again, come back, you bounce back, you have a great week of practice. It didn't seem like anybody got nicked up or banged up. You may even get a couple guys back that weren't dressing. And again, there's no pressure on you at this point. You know, you have a chance, and you can still finish a game over 500 if you go out there week by week and take care of business. And that would be something nice to see on the back end of the season.
It would be fun if the Jets went into Miami, upset them, because then they can make things quite interesting. Everything changes just with one win. And again, bottom line today, Jets play complementary football. When they play complementary football, they should be able to compete with anybody in the NFL.
Absolutely, and I don't know if anybody remembers the clip during Hard Knocks with Zach Wilson when he was with his quarterback coach, and he's like, "Football is fun." And football is fun right now, man.
Yeah.
I think it's football fun for everybody in that locker room. Everybody's excited. They don't know what the future holds, but they know right now they're playing well, they're playing together, and that's what's most important. I think it would have been really scary to see a loss in this game, right? Because offensively, defensively, you can start to get into a place where you start butting heads and going against each other. When you get this win right here, and it's a team win, you have confidence in your offense, you have confidence in your team, and you're ready to go for the rest of the season and just go out in there and playing fun football.
So the Jets improve to 5-8. The Texans fall to 7-6 overall. Next week, it is a divisional matchup between the Jets and the Dolphins. Before we sign off from here at One Jets Drive, I do want to salute our social media team who continues to crush it, whether it be win or loss. But today, Perry Mattern and his wife welcomed a baby girl into the world, Maggie Mattern. So, Maggie, you are now 1-0, a good luck charm. Congratulations to the entire Mattern family. Plenty of reasons to celebrate here tonight, fellas. From all of us at 1JD, good night.